Your Excellency, now let me turn to the findings of the report. We found that at the time of assuming office as President on the 4th of April 2018, Sierra Leone was in a state of near financial bankruptcy and facing the worst economic crisis since independence in 1961. We have produced the evidence in this report to support this claim. Your Excellency, we found that at the time you assumed office, the international reputation and credibility of Sierra Leone was battered and at its lowest ebb because of the rampant corruption, gross mismanagement, and leadership failure of the former APC government, making Sierra Leone the most corrupt country in the world and one of the poorest. Also, Your Excellency, we found a shocking level of complete disregard and disrespect by the former APC government for law and order, democratic accountability, and constitutional order. We found, Your Excellency, that the leadership of the former APC government behaved as if they were above the law and appropriated the state and its natural resources as their own private property. They signed contracts with mining companies and approved by the APC-dominated parliament in which mining companies were permitted not to pay any taxes to the country in return for bribes. We have documented, page by page, the scale and level of the egregious infractions by the leadership of the former APC government. Based on these findings, the governance transition team has put forward 10 key recommendations for your consideration and action. The two imperative recommendations are, Your Excellency. Firstly, that you consider to immediately direct the Audit Service Sierra Leone to undertake a special audit of all ministries, departments, and agencies to establish how public assets and funds have been utilized by the former APC government. Secondly, and most importantly, that you consider to immediately institute a judge-led commission of inquiry with a limited time frame and mandate to look into all stolen or inappropriately converted state funds and other assets by former APC officials. The primary objective must be to investigate, prosecute, and if found guilty of corruption, must be made to pay back to the state all corrupt funds and to face long prison sentences. Your Excellency, the governance transition team further recommends that all those named in this report for alleged corruption-related activities are to be treated as suspects and must not travel out of the jurisdiction of Sierra Leone without an approved travel certificate from the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Finally, Your Excellency, the governance transition team strongly advocates for accountability by public officers and recommend that all those investigated by the special audit and the judge-led commission of inquiry, and if found guilty, must face the full force of the law, and there must be no sacred cows.
I've just received a copy of the report, which has been long awaited. There has been a lot of impatience on the part of the people of this country to receive or have this report. But first, I want to thank the chairman and every other member of the committee for putting so much effort into producing this. Let me say this. This is just a report, a scooping exercise, a snapshot of what we met and what we inherited. As to what we have to do we will consider the recommendations to have been made. But I want to say this clearly, that we have to draw the line on corruption in this country. We have to fight corruption, and it is a fight that we must win. And it is a fight that we must fight together in order to win. I know corruption is going to fight back, but we are on the better side of history. So I encourage all Sierra Leoneans to join me to fight corruption. This is just the beginning. As you might have learned, ending corruption or reducing corruption to the minimum is not just a governance issue. It's actually an existential issue because of the level and scale of corruption in this country. If we do not fight and win the fight against corruption, we are preparing this nation for another problem that will take us down. Corruption is at a level that can destroy this nation. I consider the level of corruption that we have met as a national security issue. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to have this report. Now we will find a way to chart we will find the means to chart the way forward as to what we are going to do